So we're going to be talking today about camels. We're going to go for a ride on a camel, and we're going to learn some things we probably don't already know about a camel. The most interesting thing about a camel is their ability to store and use water in the form of fat. On the hottest day in the desert, a camel can go 10 days to 2 weeks with not a single drop of water. This camel weighs 1,750 pounds. So if he's going to lose 30% of his body mass, that is 500 pounds to dehydration. I weigh 175-ish. Simple math, take my word for it. So I'm about 10% of the mass of this camel. So for him to lose 500 pounds would be like me losing 50 pounds. So if I lost 50 pounds to dehydration because I had no water for 10 days, there's a special word for what I would be, and that word is... That's the one, yep. And if the camel lost 500 pounds because he had no water for 10 days, special word for what he would be is... Thirsty. If this camel had actually lost 30% of his body mass, he could drink 50 gallons of water in 3 minutes or less. That begs the question, where does the water go? Because the only tank in the camel is his stomach, and his stomach only holds 7 to 10 gallons of water. So that leaves you scratching your head, right? So the way that it works, as the camel dehydrates, his stomach, his red blood cells go from oval down to flat. That accounts for about 30% of his loss of mass. So this guy's gonna lose about 150 pounds of blood volume. So as the camel dehydrates, his fat cells shrink from normal for a camel down to normal for a human. So what we would call normal, a camel would call severely dehydrated. What he would call normal, we would call super morbidly obese. For a human to go from our normal to his normal is months or years of unlimited access to ridiculous amounts of food. For the camel though, to go from this to that is about 40 seconds on an individual cell basis, about 3.5 minutes on a whole body basis. As the camel does that, as he's chucking down 50 gallons of water, his red blood cells are going to go boom right back to oval as fast as he can swallow the water, and then his fat cells are going to go from normal for a human to normal for a camel. The camel, when he gets done drinking this huge volume of water, he is ready to turn around and walk back across the desert immediately. Camel has 3 eyelids. His first eyelid closes to make his eye watertight. His second eyelid closes against the sand, but he can see through it. His third eyelid closes to close his eyes. They're all 3 voluntary muscles. He can choose to close 1 or 2 or 3. People often ask me about the dips behind their eyes. It's not so much that he's got dips behind his eyes as that his eyes are standing out from the sides of his head on a large bony structure so that he gets a wider field of vision all the way around himself. In addition to the 3 eyelids, he's got these huge eyelashes that help to block sand out of his eyes. So he looks like a good looking fella, but they're to block the sand out of his eyes when he's walking in the desert. The one thing a camel is not good at is walking on mud. Those feet are big and slippery on the bottom when he's walking on something wet, and he's about like a duck on ice skates. This guy happens to be, as far as we know, the biggest camel east of the Mississippi. He is about 7.5 feet tall, weighs 1,750 pounds. As you look at the camel's legs, his legs have all these worn out looking patches all over him. So when he lays down onto the ground, he goes down like this, and all the places where his skin is going to touch the ground, he's got one of these big leathery pads. That's what keeps him from burning his skin on the heat of the desert sand. Then when he lays all the way down, he's got a sternum plate between his 2 front legs like this. And when he lays down, the sternum plate, also called the pedestal, touches the ground, and his body cavity does not. Leaves like a 1 or 2 inch gap in between his body cavity and the sand. Now that 1 or 2 inches may not sound like a huge deal unless you put it to the perspective that this is your stovetop and this is your hand. Now how in love are you with that 1 inch gap, right? Convective heat transfer, conductive heat transfer. Makes all the difference in the world. Other interesting things about a camel, his nose is slit shaped. You see about 1 billion hairs in his nose right here. They go way back into his neck. As he exhales, all of those hairs in his nose catch all of the water vapor that is in his breath, so that he is breathing out only dry air. As he inhales, all that same water vapor moisturizes the air on the way down to his lungs, so that he doesn't suffer so much from the dryness of the desert air.
Uh-oh.
He's wise to the carrot pack. Give me a little loosey-goosey there.